Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. It's your business to keep track of what's happening on the banking front. I don't think people understand the whole look of banking is undergoing massive changes even as we speak. Banking is going to look, in my opinion, significantly different in just a few years from now than what it does today. And it's thanks a lot to government shenanigans that are being done, not in your best interest, but in the best interest of bureaucrats and often radicals who really disdain the idea of our banking industry, which is shocking because banking is the backbone of America's business. And Julie Cripe is one of the people that leads us in the effort to provide opportunity for business owners of all sizes to grow and to prosper our economy. And in this crazy world we live in, it's incredible the way we look at this industry. And I, for one, want to extend my gratitude to you, Julie, for all that you do to help support our economy.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
And you're the president of a great bank. It's called Omni Bank. It's a community bank here in the Houston market. And not only just in the Houston market, throughout the state of Texas. And it just does a phenomenal job of providing incredibly close, if you will, relations between you and your bank. It's a real relationship rather than a retail-oriented bank, which I think is so important when you're dealing with your most important decisions, and those are decisions about your business and your money. Don't you agree, Julie?
I do. I think that's most important, that you have people who understand your business, know the cycles of your business, know whether an opportunity is really something that kind of business needs and is ready to help you when you need it.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things I always like to ask from you is, because you're really keeping a pulse of what the government is doing to banking and to small business owners and others everywhere, and really to actually the low-income people, making it more and more difficult for them to participate in banking. I always like to get a sense of what's happening out there on the political front. So what have you heard?
Well, I'm really glad you brought it up, because it's a critical issue that kind of snuck in the back door, as things often do in politics, and isn't a direct banking bill that directly affects consumers and small businesses, but it is a bill that will affect every single one of us and our small businesses, which will then affect maybe the banks as well, because we loan money on your business, your property specifically. And it is the National Flood Insurance Program has a lot of things that are coming up in Congress that have to be voted on, and the subsidy is going away. So the opportunities that I've seen for premiums to go up would be not twice, not 3 times what you're paying now, but up to 10 times more. So if you're a small business and have a small building and you're paying $1,200 a year for flood insurance, that could go to $12,000. We all know that's a body. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's 2 things going on. One is that the bill to grandfather people who had built to code years ago has come up for a revote, and in addition, the subsidies that help with the redistricting of the redoing of the maps, if you will, on the flood. It's a big mess. Now, Congress has passed a bill June 4th, I believe, that would delay any premium increases for a year, but the Senate hasn't passed that. And so this is coming up to a critical time. So I encourage everyone to contact their congressman or congresswoman or their senator and let them know how they feel about this bill. And I'll try to get something you can put on the website, sort of an oversight of this, so they'll know what they need to say.
Yeah, so that's incredible. That would be so helpful for our audience, and I'll also send that out through our social media, and we'll post something at usdailyreview.com, the national news website as well. Tell us a little bit about what this will do to individuals.
Well, it will have the same increase on individual flood insurance. It will depend on where you live. I think Louisiana has one of the largest problems of anybody on the Gulf Coast, so we will be included in that. Alabama, all along there, where people have properties that were built according to FEMA codes years ago, and now all of a sudden they will not be in code, which will do one of two things. They'll either have to get it in code or their insurance will increase exponentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking again to Julie Cripe, talking about what's going on out there when it comes to the banking front and what it means to you, and the financial front and what it means to you. So when the historic, oh my goodness, the infamous Dodd-Frank bill became law, Christopher Dodd said, "We have no idea what this bill will do."
Yeah.
as he was crying, and I'm sure a lot of bankers were crying, as well as consumers who were actually in the know were crying. But this is going to change the way we do banking. That's basically what he said, with tears in his eyes. I'm the chairman of the Senate. Senate Banking Committee?
Yes.
I have no idea what this bill will do.
Yes, and in fact, they created another agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, to protect consumers, and it's not necessarily at war, but it's usurping or doing different things than the already primary regulators that banks have. So we're caught in the middle on overdraft protection, for example, which many people utilize judiciously, but they like to have that safety net. And that is almost becoming a product that will have to go away. And that's, again, harming the people who may run out of paycheck before they run out of checks every month and may need a little bounce to go over to the next month. So it is a very difficult situation for everyone. Bankers are trying to figure out what they can and can't do without getting themselves in trouble, and the consumers are not sure what they're getting. So.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And the way now, and the reason why he said we're not sure exactly what this will do, well, there's a lot of reasons. First of all, he's not particularly bright. But some of the other reasons, I said that, not you. But some of the other reasons why is the fact that they create these laws and then they allow regulators to fill in the gaps, correct?
That's correct. That's exactly how it works.
And so how have you seen that pan out so far? I mean, you just gave an example, but what are some other examples that should be of concern to individuals out there?
Some of it has to do with the amount of capital, as many people have read in the newspaper, that larger banks that do derivative trading and some of the other things that most community banks don't do under the Basel III proposal, which would take capital levels way up. That's one issue, and community banks would not be able to raise capital like that. They're not in the public space. So that would virtually mean everybody's going to be consolidated again into a few large banks. That's one issue that has a big effect. Again, they are going to put some the government's going to decide what businesses are more risky than others or what loans are more risky than others, and they'll apply a factor to that. And based on that factor is how much capital you have to have. And a lot of community banks that do a lot, if they have a high concentration of ag loans because they're in a small agricultural community, or a lot of home loans that may also be investment houses that people own to rent out, those things will have a higher risk than a home that somebody lives in. And you can see where all this is going, to the point where a capital requirement will be so high for a community bank, and yet they'll still let the too big to fail guys go along with about 4 or 5%. So it's a tough times right now. Not that I'm, saying poor, pitiful me. I just think we all need to be aware of where this is going.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Julie Cripe is her name. She's with a great bank, Omni Bank here. Where are all your locations, by the way?
Well, we have 3 in Houston, 3 in Austin, 1 in San Antonio, 1 in Lockhart, Texas. So we're all in the Central Texas area, pretty much. Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much for being with us, as always. I look forward to getting that information. I do want to circulate it at priceofbusiness.com and usdailyreview.com, as well as talk about it on the show. I really do appreciate all the great work you do, and really appreciate Omni Bank.
Great. Well, we appreciate you. Thanks for spreading the word.
You bet. I am Kevin Price. This is The Price of Business. I do want to remind you the best content here, like this great interview, can be found over there at usdailyreview.com. You're listening to The Price of Business.